Good morning, Don Sulfur. My name is Owen Zashevsky, and today this is our first episode of the brand new series where we look into every topic in the Aice International History A-level course. So our topic of the day will be, first we're going to start with the economic and political motives of the new imperialism. So to do this, first we're going to have to travel to the 16th century. Let's go. Time travel time. From as early as the 16th century to the 19th century, Europe had a policy known as mercantilism, where their goals were increasing their economy via mercantilism and wanted to control over all their trade, so they can limit the cost of trade. This helped them get lots of gold and silver. Europe started to gain overseas possession, as they realized they provided a cheap source of raw materials and labor and valuable spices and skills not available in Europe, providing a market for Europe. It's that time of the day, vocab word. Alright, so mercantilism is an economic policy based on the belief that there were only a limited amount of wealth in the world, and that's what made European nations compete for it. We're back. So many European businesses also benefit from mercantilism. In the 16th century, many ships would sail from the coast of Africa to capture people and bring them to America to work on slaves, on plantation farms, or harvesting cotton, tobacco, and sugar. These ships would then return to Europe, which made profitable goods. Now, 1776, it was hard for countries to maintain overseas territory. For example, Britain was fighting extensive wars in North America, and they were able to keep Canada. But they were lost to the United States of America. Let's go, USA, USA. Sam Smith, a Scottish economist, started saying that it would be more profitable to focus on industrialization than colonization. Brazil just gained independence and now South America is free. Vai Brasil! Economic motives for imperial expansion. So, in the 1800s, goods were being mass-produced, industries needed raw materials and new markets. Entrepreneurs started thinking about new places to invest their wealth. Cap time again! So, entrepreneurs are people who invest their money, known as into capital ventures. They are prepared to take financial risk in hopes of making larger profits. Segment time. We finally industrialized. We have the railways and steamships and are able to mass produce products. We are the workshops of the world. We just conquered Algeria. Watch out, we're catching up. We now have the second strongest navy in the world. You start being scared, Britain. It ain't. Come out, wherever you are. We almost have the same economic status as I've been mass producing stuff as well. France and Germany, stay back. Two countries producing too many goods, which led to a decrease in wages and prices, causing a depression. Government had pressure to control their economy, so they felt the need to get overseas territories. States have now formed, Italy and Germany. So now there is no chance of any form of colonization in Europe without war. So that's why they chose Africa. In 1889, Britain signed the Naval Defense Act. This stated that Britain was always more powerful than French and Russian navies combined. European government used overseas possession to increase nationalism. Political motives for imperial expansion. Imperialism as a social party. Since most political parties in Europe were heavily controlled by wealthy landlords, many of them wanted imperial expansion. Political motives for imperial expansion. Now we're going to talk about some Suez Canal history. So before 1869, Britain and France had to take long voyages. As you see, they went around South Africa through Cape Colony, where Britain had its port. 1859 to 1869, French and British entrepreneurs constructed a canal that linked the Mediterranean and the Red Sea across Egypt, helping Europeans travel to and from India and the Far East more easily. Cartoon time! I don't really like that you're building a canal on my land. Well, your government's kinda unstable, so we'll just take over. Bada bing, bada bang, Britain now owns Egypt. Alright, now we finished 1.1a, we're on 1.1b. The emergences of new imperialism. From 1871 to 1914, new imperialism focused on the African interior due to its raw material. The Chinese empire was crumbling and also helped. This time they were focused on more perfect relations, so as the Treaty of Berlin 1995 laid down the rules for expenses in Africa. Now USA, Russia, and Japan are involved this time, what helped enable new imperialism, medical advancements during the 17th centuries, was known as the white man's grave due to malaria. In 1870, a French scientist created a cure, making it easier to conquer the African interiors. There's more tech advancements. Railways and steamships made it easier to conquer Africa. Opposition to slavery. By 1820, most European government banned slavery. Since slavery was common in Africa, Europe wanted to ban it. Theory of racial superiority. People believed Charles Darwin theory applied to races, and that certain races were better than others. Many Europeans believed it was their duty to stabilize and civilize Africans and Asians. European nations claimed that overseas possessions were made to impress the African lives. Alright, now we finished 1.1a, we're on 1.1b. The emergences of new imperialism. From 1871 to 1914, new imperialism focused on the African interior due to its raw material. The Chinese empire was crumbling and also helped. This time they were focused on more perfect relations, so as the Treaty of Berlin 1995 laid down the rules for expenses in Africa. Now USA, Russia, and Japan are involved this time, what helped enable new imperialism, medical advancements during the 17th centuries, was known as the white man's grave due to malaria. In 1870, a French scientist created a cure, making it easier to conquer the African interiors. There's more tech advancements. Railways and steamships made it easier to conquer Africa. Opposition to slavery. By 1820, most European government banned slavery. Since slavery was common in Africa, Europe wanted to ban it. Theory of racial superiority. People believed Charles Darwin theory applied to races, and that certain races were better than others. Many Europeans believed it was their duty to stabilize and civilize Africans and Asians. European nations claimed that overseas possessions were made to impress the African lives.
Give me your attention, baby. I gotta tell you a little something about yourself. You're wonderful, flawless, ooh, you a sexy lady. But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else. Ooh, whoa. I know that you don't know it, but you're fine, so fine. Fine, so fine. Ooh, whoa. Oh, girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine.